There were two farmers with neighbouring fields. After some time, a rivalry started to brew between them both, and their servants often competed against each other, as well as throwing the occasional insult across the fence.
We are in for a bountiful harvest this year, which is more than I can say for your fields.
Well, if you eat as much as you talk, you'll have none left.
Oi! Watch it!
As the servants were arguing, the farmers looked over their respective fields, one in delight and the other in jealousy. The farmer in delight was named Corey. He was an older man, but in his older age he had acquired great wisdom. Corey lived on his farm with his wife Dot, a caring and kind woman.
Oh, I really wish those servants would stop arguing. This land was peaceful until Bill arrived.
I've tried to reason with them, dear, but they just don't listen.
Bill owned the farm next to Corey's, a younger man but more twisted in his ways. If Bill wanted something, he would get it at any cost.
I hear your cries of misery, servants, and I agree that something must be done about Corey's fields. No longer will we tolerate his fields being more beautiful than ours. Any idea what we could do?
Oh, I know. We could set fire to the fields.
We could flood the land.
We could trample the crops.
We could sow weeds among the wheat.
Sow weeds among the weeds? What would that accomplish?
When the wheat grows, the weeds will grow with it. Their harvest will no longer be so prosperous. It will not be noticed until the seeds sprout. So we shall feed into their egos, only to see them crumble in due time.
Perfect. Tonight, we shall strike. Wait until all on Corey's land have gone to sleep and the lights are all out. Then we shall go into the fields and sow the weeds and wait gleefully for the harvest.
And so, when all was quiet on Corey's land, Bill's servants poured into the fields, sowing weeds among the wheat, covering the entirety of Corey's fields. The morning came, and Corey's servants continued their work with no alarm.
Oh, your fields do indeed look marvelous. Any advice for us? Servant to servant? Huh. Do you truly think we'll offer advice after you've mocked and tormented us? Oh, you've got us all wrong. We're just so aware of how great your fields are, and wish for ours to be the same. But of course, yours are, and will always be the superior fields.
For many days, Bill's servants would attempt to flatter Corey's servants, and their attempts were successful, until the day came when the seeds finally sprouted, and the weeds were detected.
Master Corey, sir, did we not sow good seed in the fields?
We did indeed. The finest wheat seed in all the land. What has become of it?
Sir, the weeds have sprouted, but along with them grow weeds. If you say it was good seed, where then did the weeds come from?
What? An enemy did this, I'm sure.
Bill, it must have been him. He was probably jealous of our fields and decided to sabotage our harvest.
Then we should go and sabotage his. Burn his field down if we must.
No, we must not retaliate, for he will strike once again. We will keep the peace.
Do you want us to go and pull them up?
No, because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let them both grow together until the harvest. At that time, I will tell the harvesters, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn.
With Corey's command, the servants let the wheat and the weeds grow together. During this time, Bill and his servants were filled with joy. However, when the harvest came and Corey's instructions were carried out, the weeds were burned and the wheat was collected and taken to his barn. Bill and his servants were in disbelief, for Corey's harvest was 10 times more bountiful than theirs had ever been. Thank you for listening to the Wheat and the Weeds audio drama, created by James Hand and inspired by Jesus' parable in Matthew 13. The cast are as follows: James Hand as the narrator, LoyalJoeyVA as Corey, Mauri as Bill, Lola M as Dot, Justice Margowski as Servant 1, LoyalJoeyVA as Servant 2, and Christina Roberts as both Servant 3 and 4.